Stutter, my brother, what's happening?
Hey, fantasy, it's session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a ban the kicker, we need that correction. Swap them out, we flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We trying to get that winning record. Fantasy, it's session.
And we back. I don't get to mess up a good thing. You get this intro right, my boy, bro. Like, bro, I'm gonna do the intro. Bro. I'm gonna press the buttons, and you just focus on being ready to talk.
I was like, did we start it or no?
Nah, I wanted them to see the background. Shout out, I did it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let them know it starts. Anyway, what it is, hopefully it's what it should be. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Session podcast. Today is November the 17th, and the boys are back in town. As always, wherever you listen to this at, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, leave a comment, leave a like. Shout out to all the viewers, the people that keep coming back. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the people that's winning championships. Shout out to all the people that's on their way to the championships because they in the playoffs. Just shout out to everybody, man. How y'all boys doing?
Doing good, bro. I can't believe it's fucking week 11 already, bro.
What's happening with you, my boy?
Insane, bro. It's
What up?
What's good, bro? It's just like a blur, bro. Once the season starts, it literally is a blur, bro.
I'll be ready for like,
here, man.
Yeah, I'm like, how many teams? Let's go through them now. When the last time we did this? Let's see how many teams we like are. Just
every week.
Like, every week. All right, cool. Let's see how many teams that you out in now. I think I'm out. I done came back in some shit that I thought I was out in though. Last time we talked, because even in Sundays,
yeah,
like
I'm only out in Sundays, but I mean I pretty much threw the towel in week like 3 or 4. So only other one besides that would be the auction league.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm sabotaging my first round pick. Everybody thought I was gonna be the sorriest team. My team about to go on a win streak, and I got 3 firsts still. Let's go.
What you talking about, Sundays?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. But you said you do have your first round pick or no?
I don't have mine, but I got 3.
Okay.
I got 3 of them though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm out there, man. Hey, this is a good year this year. I'm out there, but I got a chance to have about 4 first round bye. I'm out here, yeah, but.
Yeah, I was looking good in a good little bit of my leagues. Kind of slipped in legends, bro. I ran into a wall, bro. Fucking Kamara getting hurt. Jordan Love taking over and not really giving Adams any value, and it was, but I feel like everybody runs into a wall eventually. You just,
for sure,
keep grinding.
And shout out to all the injured fantasy players that's coming back. Saquon Barkley, shout out to all of them, man. The Christian McCaffreys of the world, the saviors that's going to win teams championships. The people who bought low on them. Shout out to all of y'all. Hey man, you gotta ride this wave.
People that got
shout out to Javar and Javar. Shout out to Javar and Carlos.
Oh yeah, with the Giannis.
I was wrong.
Oh yeah,
I was wrong. Hey, all right, I was wrong.
Hey, he ate though. He
went crazy though. But then the backup came in.
Just volume, bro. He actually looks good out there, bro. Like,
yeah, he does look good.
This is a game where he's got an opportunity. He looked good, bro. So
yeah. I want to see what he gonna do. Like, is he a free agent after this year? Did they sign him? What is the contract situation looking like?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He probably will be able to. Because I mean, I don't think he was. He came from the XFL. I want to say
something like that. Yeah,
or the AAF or whatever.
So he's probably like on that Mostert type contract. Ain't really getting too much money.
Yeah, like a 1-year deal or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's gonna be dope. Y'all got anything else before we get into the show? We got one more question, and we're gonna get to the Cal Pitts when we get to the Falcons. But do you drop Schultz for commit? I don't know.
He been on the.
I probably wouldn't drop him.
Not just yet. I am worried about Schultz, though.
Yeah, it is a little bit worrying with Gallup kind of eating into that target share that he was getting. But yeah, I don't know if I would drop him for commit just yet. It does seem like commit has that connection with Justin Fields too, but
yeah, it's
small sample size for Schultz, so I would want to wait for that.
Yeah, I see if you can drop. If you really worried in a pinch, I see if you can manage to drop somebody else, like you deep in wide receiver, and you got okay player right there, but you know he's never gonna crack your lineup. Then you go out and get that commit. But yeah, hold where you at for now.
But before we get to the episode, let's go ahead and get a moment of silence out. Special moment of silence to young Dolph out there, man. He lost his life today, if y'all know.
All right.
So we're gonna go ahead and give an 8-second moment of silence out and condolences to all of his friends and family and stuff like that. It's Dolph.
Let go.
All right, man. And we back. So let's get the people what they here for. You know what I'm saying? Part 1 of the best fantasy football start, sits, breakdown, whatever you want to call it, in the world. Gunshot. Pop, pop, pop. So we starting off, you know what I'm saying, Thursday night football. The New England Patriots come to the Dirty Birds. I'm supposed to be going to that game tomorrow to get my heart broken in person, bro. It's like nothing like that. 7-point favorite New England Patriots at the Falcons, over under 47.5 points. How do you feel about Kyle Pitts? That's what everybody want to know about. Of course, Cordell Patterson is a game time decision. Kyle Pitts coming off that. Everybody got their ass whooped last week, 43-3. So it was just a bad game. I think Matt Ryan even had like negative points or something crazy like that. That was like earth shattering to me as a Falcon fan. So I didn't want to talk about this game. So I'll let Carlos, who's like a fantasy football fan instead of a Falcon fan, talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing, bro, because it had shootout all over it, man. It was like one of the highest over-unders on the week, man.
They met the over-under.
Yeah, but no, they didn't, because it almost met it by themselves. It was like
that's what I'm saying. I thought it was like 50.
It was 43-3, yeah. So they almost got it by them damn selves, but you know.
I would say this as a Falcons fan. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, who's going to go out there and win? I just wanted to see a competitive game. I wanted to see them compete. We played well for the previous couple of weeks. I just wanted to see could that translate against a good football team, and it was just devastating to see them go out there and just do it like that, bro. So yeah.
And then Cordell Patterson got injured in that game, so he was already down really. Then he has a hobbled Cordell Patterson still trying to play out there. So it was a recipe for disaster, man. And like he said, man, we're moving on to Thursday, so it might be more the same. But
I was hoping we got a little break. It's too soon.
Nah, bro. Yeah, it's too
soon.
It's bad. It might be a bloodbath out there, just to let you guys know. But Kyle Pitts, man, he's really the only like playable guy, man. But even him, I'm still worried about him. Just give you some background. He's currently the number 5 tight end on the year, but he's only scored once. So the 4 guys in front of him all have multiple touchdowns. That just shows you that how special of a talent he is for him to be top 5 among tight ends and only have 1 tight end. If he starts getting touchdowns, then the sky is the limit even in his rookie year. 6th in targets, 7th in catches, 30 yards, and 30 yards per route run among tight ends. So all that sounds great, but the problem is we all know how the Patriots like to play defense, and they like to take out your number 1 target. And with no Calvin Ridley and Patterson as game time decisions not looking like he's going to play, that leaves Pitts as the guy out there. So I'm still starting him, of course, but I am tempering expectations for him because, I mean, it could be bad, man. They could triple team him for all we know, bro. So just be aware of that, but don't get too crazy with it. Matt Ryan, I'm sitting him. I came around on him last week too, man. I was like, giving him props, like, hey, bro.
Yeah, me too.
This dude's been on fire lately, bro. He's been playing lights out and shit. And then he comes out here and gets negative points, bro. So never again, Matt Ryan. You're dead to me. 9 for 22 with 117 yards and 2 interceptions before getting benched in the second half. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, he didn't have 2 of his top 3 options out there, so that may have something to do with it. But we all know we've seen Aaron Rodgers go out there with nobody and still rise above it, man. And Matt Ryan didn't do that. So with the
he didn't do it against the Patriots, though.
He did it against the Cardinals, another great defense. So I mean, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And then of course, the Patriots are on fire. They're allowing the 3rd fewest points to quarterback. So I am not even thinking about starting him.
Nope.
Falcons receivers also not really looking to start them. Gage is really the only one I would consider. He's put up two goose eggs in his last 4 games. So
2 of them guys.
Not looking to start him, and the Patriots are allowing the 6th fewest points to the position. So you have to be very desperate to start.
And this is why I didn't want to talk about the Falcons. I'd have just been I would have been depressed typing this up, just like.
Yeah, but see, if you don't have any expectations going into the year, it's not that bad, man. You guys should try it next year.
I always have expectations.
I don't have no expectations.
Yeah, well, you know what they say the definition of insanity is, right? So
I just don't want to read about it. I already know how bad they are. I just don't want to read about it. Like, oh, they this ranked in this league.
Hey, how you feel about Wayne Gallman though? He was like a hot waiver wire pickup this week, especially with Cordell Patterson.
You got Wayne Gallman, Mike Davis, and that just lets you know how the consensus feel about Wayne Gallman because Gabe was able to go into every single league and pick him up for a minimal amount of dollars, and he's excited about that. But everybody's like, that's how we feel about him. I feel like he's better than Mike Davis at this point. Like he has more juice in him, bro. But I don't know. I don't know if when he got the run last week, was it because they were getting blown out already and they wanted to give him some run, or was it because this Davis sucks now? I think Davis is still going to be the pass catching guy, man. And with them as 7.5-point underdogs, I think he probably will have the most value. Like I was saying before we started recording, the only way I see Wayne Gallman really being fantasy relevant tomorrow is if we keep it close. And he's used more like in between the tackles like he was last week. He got like 15 carries last week for like 50-something yards. So
55.
Yeah, so it really just goes to what you think is going to happen. If you think the Falcons are going to be able to keep it close, we have like an implied total of 20 points. So if you think we're going to keep it close, then Wayne Gallman probably will be more valuable. But if you're expecting us to get blown out, which I am, I think Mike Davis will be more valuable. But they're both French plays, so I'm not really like rushing to start any of them. But if you have some bye week running backs and injuries, then that's what I would look for if I'm deciding to start either of those guys. So
he also caught a pass for 21 yards.
Okay, so yeah, maybe he'd be using a passing game too. But Mike Davis actually has multiple games of him seeing at least 4 targets. He's seen that number in 5 of his 9 games. So he does profile as more of the pass catching back out of the two. So that's who I would go for if I think it's going to be a blowout or if we're just going to be trailing the whole game. But yeah, Mike Davis, man, he's been bad, bro. Since week 7, bro. Since the bye, bro. He's the number 56 running back, averaging 3.6 a game, being outscored by guys like Jamar Jefferson, Matt Breida, and JJ Taylor. So yeah, man.
I said, what Mike Davis did y'all see last year to imply that he is worth a 5th round pick this year?
We saw volume. That's what we saw. And that's what he's not getting. So I mean,
I will say he does break tackles.
I like the process. The results then match, but it is what it is.
He does break tackles out there on the field. He just breaks tackles in slow motion. He'd be like, "Oh, he broke a tackle." Then he trying to muster up, and then somebody already there. So is he trying to take the next?
He sounds slow, just Mike Davis. And then when you look at his picture, bro, he sounds like he's slow. Like what I mean? He really is. So, but on to the other side for New England, Jacoby Myers is I think he's a good start. Finally did it, guys. He finally scored a motherfucking touchdown, bro. That shit was crazy. Of course, he didn't get it with Mac Jones. It was in garbage time when Brian Hoyer came in, but it was in the regular season, so it still counts.
Ain't nobody gonna know. Ain't nobody gonna know from here on out. Next year, ain't nobody gonna know.
Exactly. But that was pretty dope, man. Seeing the whole freaking team come off the bench, bro, like that. Everybody was waiting for this moment, including fantasy players. Bro,
they probably called the play. Like the coach probably said, "I called the play for Myers. This play for him. He should score."
But he won the whole sideline. Open play though. He broke some tackles, dove into the end zone, bro. That dude wanted that motherfucking touchdown, bro. So it was glad to see him get in the end zone.
Hey.
And he gets to follow that up with one of the best matchups you'll see all year. Not only are the Falcons allowing the 8th most points to receivers, but his primary matchup will be against the lowest graded cornerback on the team, which is Williams. Out of the slot, he has a PFF grade of 53 and allowing a 77% catch rate. And he has the highest matchup advantage out of all receivers, according to PFF on the week. So he's a pretty good play. He is only averaging just under 4 targets a game over the last 2 weeks. So I'm not going too crazy, but I think he'll be a good low-end wide receiver too this week. And a great matchup. Hunter Henry is another start. Dude just scores touchdowns. I know regression is going to hit him at some point, but I think we got to stay in the flames until it happens. He has 7 touchdowns in his last 7 games, and he's the number 3 tight end on the year. The red flag here is that he's doing it on such little volume. He's 14th among tight ends in targets, 14th in catches. But it's just that red zone and end zone usage is what's why he's able to produce so well with the touchdowns. he has a great shot at one every week. 4th in red zone targets, 1st in end zone targets. So I think you got to play him, but just be aware that his floor will be very low when he does get you a game where he doesn't score a touchdown. Because it's going to happen. He's not scoring a touchdown every single game. And if he does, he'll be a major outlier. So just keep that in mind.
He's a tight end, though. That's really what all you looking for a tight end.
Yeah,
I mean.
Exactly. But hopefully that doesn't happen this week because he also has the highest matchup advantage, according to PFF, among tight ends. Against Dion Jones, has a PFF grade of 47. That is so gross. And allowing a 90% catch rate. Like, what is he doing? What is Dion Jones doing, bro? I remember he used to be good.
I told y'all Dion Jones is too small to be playing middle linebacker, bro. I saw a play. I wish I recorded it. I saw a play. Who did we play? I try to wash it out of my brain. Tony Pollard took the ball up the middle and drove Dion Jones ass 5 yards off the ball. No offensive lineman touched him. It was just Tony Pollard, little ass, taking Dion Jones for a ride. And I said, and that is why the Falcons are ass right there.
He's great for a dime package.
One of many reasons. But yeah, he's
goddamn Thomas the Big Charles.
As far as sits go, man, I'll call him a fringe player. Ramondre Stevenson, he had the game of his young career last week, 114 scrimmage yards, 2 touchdowns on 25 opportunity. Finished as a top 2 back on the week. Problem with him is Damien Harris is back from his concussion. He practiced, so it's looking like he will play. And I'm not sure that the Patriots are just going to give Ramondre Stevenson the workload, off of one good game. So he's going to be volatile with Damien Harris back. So I think he'll be more like a fringe flex player, man. But I don't know, man. I don't think I can start him. What y'all think about that?
I like Damien Harris, especially with they taking him off the injury injury list totally. So that means he's probably really healthy. I think Ramondre still get some work, like maybe some.
Yeah, he will. It's just that ceiling's not going to be nowhere near.
Yeah.
No.
Now he's French started, like you said. I agree with you.
But the same way Harris is in that same boat because we just don't because Belichick could definitely go out there and just like Ramondre is our best back. He is the best back out there. He's a better receiving back, and they're about even when it comes around.
But Damien Harris getting that red zone work though. Yeah, I think he scored a touchdown in every game. Something like
Damien Harris is on fire too. In the last 4 games before his concussion, he was the number 4 running back and averaged 16.4 half PPR points. He was also averaging 19 opportunities and 84 scrimmage yards. But like I said, we've seen crazy things happen in the past with this backfield, man. So I'm not confident about firing either of them up, but I'm not going to argue with anybody that was because ATL is allowing the 5th most points to running back position. So it's a great matchup, man. I just don't. I would be nervous if I was starting him. That's what I would say.
I'm going to start him.
Yeah, I probably will start Harris where I have him just because he was getting the work before he got injured, but I'm still going to be nervous. Mac Jones is a fringe player for me. He's really the perfect example of how fantasy success or real life success doesn't always translate to fantasy success. Last week, he was the 2nd highest graded quarterback, completed 83% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And he still didn't get 20 points in 4-point passing touchdown leagues. So that just shows how efficient he needs to be week in and week out to even come close to sniffing that total. So when he's not efficient, he's going to live in that, quarterback 18 to 28 range, which is where he's been at all year pretty much, except 2 where he finishes as a QB1. With that being said, though, I do think he's in the stream of conversation this week. The Falcons allowing the 10th most points to the fantasy position or to the QB position. Not starting him as a QB1, but he's a great QB2 in Superflex League. So I think he has one of the safest floors, so I'm cool with him as a QB2. Yeah. And that's all I got.
I like him this week, but Javar always trying to sell somebody for a crazy amount of Javar. What are you trying to sell? Let me get goddamn Joe Mixon and T Higgins off the ball. Let me get Joe. That's all I want, bro.
But he sent me the classic. Me and him was negotiating the trade, bro. He sent me the classic 4th rounder in the deal. I'm like, bro, take this fluff out of here, bro. I don't want no 4th round pick, bro.
But just and the Javon favorite shit to do, bro. Javon favorite shit is, bro. Man, hey man, just throw a 3rd on that. Just throw a 3rd or 4th on that, bro. You don't even just throw a 3rd or 4th on that, bro. I'm gonna throw a 3rd. You throw a 2nd, bro. No, bro, I'm not throwing no 2nd.
Difference is me and Carlos worked out a trade, and it's the same core players from the first trade I sent. Basically,
I sent it back to him. I was like, bro, just keep your 4th round pick, bro. keep that shit, bro.
I don't know. He trying to do it in redraft, so I don't want that.
Yeah, I seen like Mac Jones, Devontae Williams, and I really just wanted like Mac Jones for Keenan Allen or something. He's like, gonna have no wide receiver down. It's like, well, give me a running back.
No, but I'm not trading Matt just for Keenan Allen. 1, never. 2, the trade that you sent was Javonte Williams and Mac Jones for Joe Mixon and T. Higgins. I looked at that. I said, he'd be really serious. And then he looked at me like, what, man? You need a quarterback. Anyway, bro, 2.5 point favorite. I do need a quarterback, but that ain't going to be that. Damn, bro. Did you put it in a bid on Joe Flacco?
Who, me? Nah, bro. Yeah. I got Cam Newton, bro. I'm good. I'm Gucci over here. Gucci over here. Shit.
This the way he said it. It's the way he said it. I got Cam Newton. I'm Gucci over here. I'm good.
You go quarterbacks, bro. I'm good over here, guy.
2.5 point favorite Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings over under 49 points. We got Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams going back where they always destroy the Vikings. So I don't see nothing changing here. How you feel about that side of the ball, Jabbar?
Man, you're going to fire up Aaron Rodgers for sure. I know he had a down week last week that could have been due to some rust, but he still attempted 37 passes for 292 yards. He just didn't get a touchdown and threw 1 INT. Even against the Vikings defense that's allowing the 12 fewest points to quarterbacks, you start Aaron Rodgers. Next up, Aaron Jones is out for at least 1 or 2 weeks, so you got A.J. Dillon in line for the start for at least the next 2 games. He has averaged 4 yards per carry and 12 yards per catch this year. He needs to be starting all lineups as the Vikings are allowing around 25 points per game. He has the potential to see 20 plus touches per the games he start with Jones out and could be running back ones in both weeks. So you're firing him up each week on the wide receivers. We only talk about Devontae Adams because that's the only wide receiver that plays for the Packers. It's another year for Adams and where he leads the team in targets, reception, and yards again. It's safe to say he's leaving whenever Rodgers is out, right? But he's a stud, and you're going to start him every week. That's pretty much it on that side of the ball. On to the other side, we got Kirk Cousins. Don't look now, but Cousins is cornerback 10 on the year and have been playing well despite the matchups. He has scored 3 TDs in 4 out of his 9 games. He has scored at least 2 TDs in 6 of his 9 games and only 2 INTs on the year. It's safe to say he is close to a must start each week he's tipping around 36 passes per game. So you starting Christian Kirk in 1 and 2 quarterback leagues. Dalvin Cook.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, who I said.
Christian Kirk.
I don't like Kirk Cousins this week. I ain't gonna hold you.
You don't think so? I mean, they don't have to score points, bro.
The Packers defense is looking real good, but I'll let you go ahead and finish though.
I mean, just on his name, I ain't like Kirk Cousins, but looking up, he's scoring 2 touchdowns.
I understand him. I'm talking about, but look at the Packers defense though.
I mean, but all right, look at the Vikings offense though. They got Dalvin Cook, who has been cooking lately. And 3 of the 4 last games, he has had 118 all-purpose yards. You're gonna start him every week. On to the wide receivers, man. It's another week for this wide receiver group with a tough matchup. But the Packers are allowing the 5th fewest points to wide receiver. But nevertheless, you're gonna start both of these studs. They produced last week against the Chargers, who were allowing the 3rd fewest points to wide receivers at the point. Thielen has scored a touchdown in every game this season, but 3. JJ is coming off of back-to-back games.
The last 3.
Yeah. JJ is
smooth that over there.
I mean, but still, Kirk Cousins is still throwing touchdowns, so he's gonna find him eventually. Conklin been getting some of them. JJ is coming off back-to-back games where he's scored at least 15 points in PPR league. So you starting both of those guys no matter the matchup. And if you start both of those guys, it's pretty much safe to say you can start Kirk Cousins. Tyler Conklin, he had a productive outing last week, scoring his second highest total on the year, which is 14 points in PPR tight end premium leagues. He has scored 2 TDs, but only caught 3 or 5 targets for 11 yards. Nevertheless, this game should be a shootout, and the Packers are allowing the 7th most points to tight ends. You're in for another decent week to start Conklin if you're in a pinch. That's pretty much it on that game.
I don't like it.
You don't like?
I don't like
Kirk
it,
Cousins?
But the Packers just put up 0 against the Russell Wilson.
Let's throw that game out. Let's throw that game out.
That one.
Okay,
Russell Wilson.
But then they shut down. They shut down Patrick Mahomes the week before.
Everybody been doing that. I ain't saying they shut him down, but they've been struggling every game.
Vikings 13 points. They had 13 points in that game.
Who?
Vikings been on fire.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
I know that's what they were putting up pretty much the previous 2 games before that. He went on like a 3-game down stretch.
Bro, he done played tough defenses.
I said that last week when I wrote up Patrick Mahomes. I was like, bro, this is gonna be the last week where he's an obvious starter if he keeps.
But I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking about Kirk Cousins right now. I don't like
Kirk Cousins finished as a top 6 quarterback the last 2 weeks. Quarterback 1 and 5.
But when is the last time the Packers allowed a top 12 quarterback finish?
But when has Kirk Cousins not been a QB1 last? He finished as a QB1.
I mean, right? He can go both ways.
5 out of 9 games this year, he's been a QB1, so he's been playing good as well, bro. Like,
I'm not saying he hasn't been playing good. I'm just saying the Packers,
bro. Like, I mean, who would you start over him? Like, let's go through some names. We got. Would you start him over Cam Newton?
Let me look at my fucking rankings. Probably not though. I mean, I probably would start him over Cam Newton because I do like Cam Newton. I do think he has a good matchup this week, but I don't know. That's hard. They probably right around the same person to me, bro. To be honest with you.
How about Daniel Jones or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins. I mean, I'm not trying to force him out of my life. Where I got him at.
It really just depends on what your other options are too, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing.
I mean, like he's
I'm saying if you got options in one QB
quarterback leagues, I understand. You can probably maybe you got a better quarterback, but 2 quarterbacks he's a for sure starter. But in one quarterback league, you got Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins. Like you starting Cousins out of all them. Yeah, you probably starting Cousins over Ryan Tannehill. Like it's a lot of people you starting Kirk Cousins over.
I don't know. I kind of like Ryan Tannehill this year. I mean, this week I don't know about that one because it's a higher chance that Kirk Cousins come out there and stink it up, and that doesn't make him bad on the year. That just means Green Bay just continuing doing what Green Bay's been doing.
Yeah, they have been playing pretty good defense, but this is a division game, man. He's been playing pretty good, bro. I think he'll be all right.
We're gonna see. Let's see. That's it for your
Tell me how much you like Ryan Tannehill. Hey, somebody.
What?
Segway King.
Oh, I didn't even know. Houston
I'm so confused.
The 10.5 point favorite Titans at home over under 44.5 points. We got Houston starts. I got Brandon Cook, of course, with his first game back with Tyrod Taylor. He saw 14 targets. First time double-digit targets since week 6. He caught six of his targets for 56 yards, but he didn't get into the end zone. Cooks, of course, is a target monster, so he's just missing that touchdown department. I think he only has 2 on the year, so that's always a big downfall. But in PPR leagues, you're just looking for the targets. He'll see Jenkins this week, who's getting up a 69% catch rate, so that's always a good sign for him. Sits, I got all of the Texas running backs, of course. Houston fringe players, we got Tyrod Taylor in his first game back, week 9 against the Dolphins. He threw the ball 43 times. That's a crazy amount of times. Only 240 yards, 3 interceptions, didn't score any touchdowns, but he did run the ball 3 times for 23 yards. This week, after a bye week, he gets the Titans, who's arguably the best team in the NFL right now. The Titans, since week 5, are allowed 291 yards passing per game and have allowed 10 touchdowns during that span. So I do like Tyrod Taylor, you know what I'm saying? He could give up, and the Titans are giving up 23 yards on the ground per game since week 5 to the quarterback. So I do like Tyrod Taylor. I feel like he could give you like a little upside. I don't like him over. So let's see, Tyrod Taylor or Kirk Cousins. That's what it boiled down to me.
Cousins.
Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't like the way he looked last week. Probably looked better than he did.
With his first game back.
Yeah, he probably looked better, but I still need to see it.
He still threw the ball 43 times though, with no rushing game. You know they're gonna have to throw the ball, and they're gonna be from behind. I do like Tyrod Taylor. Kirk Cousins is gonna have. I think he's gonna have a bad week. Damien Amendola since week 7. He has been second on the team in targets, of course, after Cook's 16 targets over that span of 5 games. He saw his biggest target share last week, of course, with Tyrod Taylor being back with 7. He isn't producing much on the yards or touchdowns category, but, you know, in PPR leagues, it's not a sexy ceiling, but it gives you a safe floor. That's pretty much all I got for that Houston side of the ball. There's never really anything popping over there. The Tennessee Titans, of course, he's going to start A.J. Brown. Last week, he did see his lowest target production on the year since healthy, with 4 targets, catching only 1 of them for 16 yards. The Saints defense, a lot of things happened last week. I'm not sure which one did, but he does go up against the Houston Texans, who are allowing the 8th most fantasy points in the last 5 weeks to the wide receiver position. So, of course, I see a bounce back for him. I got sits, AP, and McNichols. Besides that touchdown for AP, he really hasn't done much. Neither has McNichols. We expected him to be the primary target getter out of the backfield, but he's only averaged 3 targets a game since the King has left and hasn't had over 25 yards. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry is somewhere looking down on him, just so disappointed, man. Like both of them. You failed me. How dare you? You deliberately disobeyed me, like Mufasa told Simba.
He's just looking like it's only one king. That's what they're looking like.
They look like they like peasants out there. Everybody except like Deontay Foreman. I do like him as a fringe player this week. Of course, it has been a 3-way situation, which is never good since the King has been gone. But Foreman seemed to take a little bit of the lead in that backfield last week. And he does have familiarity with the offense already. He led the backfield in touches and yards last week with 13 for 78 yards, playing 35% of the snaps. So I do like that. He gets the Texans, who've given up 133 yards on the ground per game and a touchdown, around the 10th most fantasy points to the running back position. So I'd love him. Ryan Tannehill, over the last 2 weeks, his fantasy day has been saved by a rushing touchdown on the goal line. In both games, he threw the ball 27 times and was under 215 times in both games. But in week 5, since week 5, Houston has ranked 15th in fantasy points allowed to the quarterback, allowed 253 yards and 2 touchdowns per game to the quarterback position. So with that lack of consistency in running game, it is affecting him in that scoring department. I will admit that, but I do like him in the Texans this week just because it'll be a little bit easier for him to move the ball against them. I think he's a good streaming matchup. I think I do like him over Kirk Cousins this week.
Yeah, I probably will take him as well. Super easy matchup.
Just because of the matchup, yeah. Just because of the matchup alone. I'm not like I do like Kirk Cousins. He is having a good year, but the Packers have just showed us like, and they don't even have that. Like that's what everybody was talking about Monday. Like you know what I'm saying, the Skipping Bayless and all them guys. Oh, the Packers had the best defense. You know what I'm saying? They don't even got Jair Alexander and the other guy Smith back. You know what I'm saying? They're coming back and blah 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 blah. How do you feel about? Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for that game. Julio Jones. What was the guy? It is one Marcus more like Johnson? A little sleeper. Yeah, it's one little sleeper. Marcus Johnson. How do you feel about Marcus Johnson? He had caught 5 of his 6 targets last week for 100 yards. Didn't get the end zone, but it was a big play. I think it was one of them for like 55 yards or something like that. He could be stepping up as that wide receiver too with Julio being out. How do you feel like comfortable enough to start him? He was a big waiver wire.
Not yet. I got to see it more than once for me to feel comfortable with it. It's good to see. Probably should be on rosters, but not really comfortable starting him yet.
Slick, that's how I feel about Wayne Gallman. Like, unless I have to put him in, he's probably not going to start. But I did like if he takes over that Mike Davis role, you know what I mean? Especially after like they're going to have 10 days off or something. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to play for like another week. Shit, I like it. If he come out and look good, I like it. But yeah, that's all I got for that game. So on to the next game, we got the Saints. You know what I'm saying? As long as we beat the Saints, I really don't even care how this season goes, bro. We beat the Saints. Yeah, for sure. The 1 point favorited Saints at Philadelphia, 43.5 points. It's getting cold out there, so we also got to start taking that into effect. You know what I mean? The weather's getting crazy. Last week, I think, was the first snow game, kinda in Green Bay. It wasn't pouring, but it was snowing. So
it was kind of bad. It was kind of like it looked like flurries from the out, but once like they zoomed in, you see it was coming down pretty hard. So
we also got to mention it was like no quarterbacks did good last week. I think Cam Newton like finished as a QB1 and he only had like 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that was horrible. That Green Bay and Seattle game was horrible, bro. Like both
these last 2 weeks, the games ain't been like, you know what I mean? Like it made me not want league pass. Yeah, I don't like. Why do I have this?
But hopefully, it looks better this week. But speaking about the Saints, Alvin Kamara did return to practice, so hopefully he's trending in the right direction. Of course, you're starting him if he plays. That's the only obvious start I would say. Sits Adam Troutman. He's actually been leading the team over the last 2 weeks since Simeon has taken over as a starter, but he's finished with 12 combined points in that span. And, you know, with these flyer tight ends, you need either a touchdown or yards to start one of them, and he's not doing either of them. So I'm not starting him. French player, this might shock some people, but Trevor Simeon has been pretty good lately, bro. Since he's taken over as a starter. You probably do have other options, so I wouldn't start him in a 1 QB league, but he should be I think he's a nice
I tried to trade for him.
Leagues. Yeah, for real, damn.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
And Legends, Vaughn won't even give him to me.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. But he's actually finished as a QB1 in the last 2 weeks. He's finished at 10-4. So he's been playing pretty good. Sean Payton, I guess, has put him in a great position to succeed out there. So that's great news. Matchup doesn't scare me away either. Eagles are about middle of the road against quarterbacks. They're allowing the 16th most points to the position. Like I said in the beginning, I wouldn't go crazy and start them over your usual guys, but you know, in Superflex League, we all know how bad it is when you lose a quarterback or you're down one because of a bye. So he's a great option as a QB2, I believe, this week. Saints wide receivers, also have them as fringe guys. None of them are must starts, but I would rank them Traquan, Deontay Harris, and Ben Callaway. Traquan has ran the most routes since Simeon took over and has put up double-digit points in 2 of his last 3 games. So it looks like he's finally starting to come around. Also tied for team lead in targets over the last 2 weeks. Deontay Harris is the other receiver with 11 targets, and he actually has the best matchup of the 3. His primary matchup would be against Steven Nelson, who has a PFF grade of 60 and allowing a 71% catch rate. And he also has the highest receiving grade and yards per route run of the 3. Only downside with Harris is that he's seeing the field less than the other 2 guys. He's only coming in on like 3 wide receiver sets. So he's going to be the most volatile. Callaway, he scored the last 2 weeks, but really hasn't done much else. He's failed to top more than 3 passes or top 37 yards. So that's not good news for him. And he'll see the top corner from the Eagles, which is Darius Slay. So I would be looking for other options, especially by Callaway.
Shut down too.
Yeah, and the other 2 guys, man, if you're desperate, man, I mean, you can probably get away starting him as like a low-end flex. But not excited about either of those guys. On to the Philly side. And, of course, Mark Ingram, if Alvin Kamara does sit, of course, you're starting him. He handled pretty much all the touches last week. So
even with him starting, I think you still play him
he'd be like a more of a flex play. Yeah, he'd be more of a flex play. But smash play if Kamara's out. Obvious starts is Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert if he's clear from concussion protocol. Miles Sanders, he is a sit for me. He's been activated from IR, but we still don't know if he will play. Even if he does, though, like I said, I would want to wait to see a week See how they divvy up these touches in that backfield. He was getting that workhorse usage before he got hurt. So we don't know if he'll go back to that, but Jordan Howard has been pretty efficient since he's taken over for him. Then you got Boss this guy, you got Kenneth Gainwell still out there. So we know they like to run a committee. So I would like to wait a week just to see if if he's going to go back to that workhorse usage. And add to that, Saints are elite against running backs, allowing the third fewest points to the position. So it's just a lot of things stacked up against him this week for me to feel comfortable starting him. Fringe player Devonta Smith, he has been absolutely balling the last couple of weeks, averaging 20 points on 6 targets and 91 yards a game. Also scored 3 touchdowns in that span. Every other week, I would say, well, not every other week, but most weeks I would say, he's a must start now. We see rookie receivers kind of break out in that second half historically. But the Saints, not only are they allowing the 6 fewest points to receivers, but his primary matchup will be against Marshawn Lattimore, who's only allowing a 57% catch rate. And another concerning factor is the passing volume of the Eagles over the last 3 weeks. Hurts is only averaging 18 pass attempts a game. So they have literally committed to the run since they waited till Miles Sanders got hurt to just say, what?
Coming back this week.
Running the ball,
welcome back.
So,
Welcome
back.
I like
how that goes, but the passing volume and the matchup with Lattimore he's more of a fringe player for me.
I like your take on Sanders. It's a rough week for him. We don't know how the touch is going break down, and unless you desperate, that's the only way
I need him in Sundays. I gotta play him.
Okay.
Hey, Griff is so salty, bro. He is so mad, bro.
That should be so funny, bro.
Oh my god!
For what it's worth, though, he does have some horrible luck, bro. Like I think he traded for a running back. No, I think he drafted Etienne. He gets hurt for the year. He trades for Dobbins. Dobbins gets hurt right after he trades for him. And then he had Derrick Henry as well, and he got hurt, bro. So
And then
fantasy guys be cruel sometimes, bro.
And then he traded for Hollywood, and then traded for Hollywood for
that was
Juju.
That was his fault. He shouldn't have did that.
He should have did that in the first place, bro.
So then Juju got hurt for the season. And then what's the trade he just did?
He got CH, and then CH got hurt, and then he got Hunt, and then Hunt got hurt.
Oh my god, bro!
And then he just traded in Marathon just to try to beat me and lost. What he traded? He traded homeboy
Connor.
Yeah, and then Connor came out there and stunk it up.
He had an okay game. He got an
his team stunk it up though.
But this is a lesson. If we see going for this year, if we see him trade for a player, bro, and we have that player, we need to get rid of him immediately. Because I don't know what we got going on around. That's horrible. Everybody been traded for been getting hurt, so I don't want.
Damn, I didn't even realize that. It's like across multiple leagues, too. Not even just one league.
Is that in the back of your mind, like mid-season, like, damn, this is a good trade, but I'm gonna be so mad if I make this trade and he get hurt.
It definitely, especially if you pay up for a guy, bro. And that's definitely in the back.
Even though, like, how much shit y'all talk about, like my Michael Carter trade, like I would have been very pissed. Like when CMC went into that blue tent last week, I said, "You motherfucker, bro, you better."
Antonio was waiting for this moment too.
I know. Okay. I didn't even text back. I said, why would you say that? You got him on your team, bro.
I know, bro. Like, goddamn, and stop telling people when a player gets hurt, bro. Trust me, we're in.
Everybody can see it, bro.
See that this
everybody has the alert, bro. Everybody got the alert.
You're trolling if you say that shit, bro. And I'm gonna be a smart.
I think they just want to
we gonna be beefing.
Yes, bro. Hey, public service announcement. We need to tweet that out. Public service announcement. Do not contact me when my player is injured. I already know.
I know.
Hey, that's like that's like back in high school.
What minute is this?
That's like we're like the 44th. 43rd, probably when we started talking about it. But that's like back in high school when you always got that one that's instigating. So when somebody's sitting like that in the chat, this player got hurt, they just instigate so everybody can kind of jump you.
You ain't got that player, bro. Like,
right.
Just wild.
You guys.
That's it, though. I got for that game. Quez Watkins. Before we do move on, Quez Watkins is like a sneaky, maybe a DFS play. The second cornerback for the Saints has been gashed all year. We seen Marcus Johnson come out of nowhere last week and have a good game against them. So Quez Watkins is somebody to keep in mind in deeper leagues and in DFS if you're playing him.
Yeah, it's probably not even that he's getting gassed so much as that all the targets are going over there because Marshawn Lattimore's on the other side.
Lattimore. That's true. Good point.
Tyler Conklin or Dawson Knox. I think I like Dawson Knox in his second game back. He didn't do what we all expected him to do, and I don't like that Vikings game. I think that's.
I like Conklin better.
Yeah, I like Conklin. It's not enough. He's not getting enough volume, bro. If you don't get no touch, he's just like Hunter Henry. If you don't get no touchdown, it's a goose egg. So at least Conklin, he getting targets per game. He gonna get you a good 5-6 piece.
All right, I'll go with that.
We're all in on Conklin. Little 6 piece with a little French fry, a little blue cheese on it. Let me put my wings.
That shit sound amazing right now.
Because this shit sure, I'm trying to hit up American Deli, bro.
Indianapolis if Javar come up with his monologues, Indianapolis at 7-point favorite, Buffalo over under 50 points. We got the Great White Hope, you know what I'm saying, being the Great White. Did he do good things last week?
Did great things.
Yeah, great things.
Yeah,
hey man, he is.
Every pass to freaking Diggs. Diggs finally had that breakout game.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Like, I hate that where I needed him to have 2 touchdowns at, it don't even matter no more. You know what I mean? Like I have him in like a lot of places, and it's like that shit don't even matter no more.
Oh no, I need it. Where I got him, I need it, man. Calvin, Calvin, if you listening, my boy.
Please.
Right. Get things right. Get yourself right. If you can come back. You know what I'm saying? But on Josh Allen,
honestly, because we need to get a top 10 pick at this point. We going top 5, baby. We need another generation.
Pick, bro. We have him on our fantasy teams, bro. If you can come back, bro.
What's really playing, Gabe? We're still in line.
We're still lose. We're still gonna get our head beat, bro. What the fuck?
Even if we score, it ain't like we can stop people. Even if we score, it ain't like we can stop people. So, on to Josh Allen, who bounced back lovely last week. He should continue against the Colts because they're aligned the 3rd most points to quarterbacks. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, man, they had a great matchup last week, and both scored under 12 points. Both backs only got 7 carries in a blowout game. And Breida salvaged everybody with the rushing touchdown. And the reception touchdown, he only had like 4 carries himself. So I'm sitting both of these backs, all these backs, and it sucks because the Colts are allowing the 6th fewest points to running back, so it don't suck. So it's good reason you are sitting those people. And we just spoke up Diggs last week. He caught 8 catches for 162 yards and 1 TD. So you start him with another great matchup. Beasley played 16% of the snaps last week.
I don't know why. I don't know why I thought it was 2 touchdowns.
Oh no, yeah. One. Beasley played 16% of the snaps last week. He's been battling through a rib injury, and he missed practice today. So if he plays, he's a flex play and a great matchup as the Colts are allowing Steph 7 most points to wide receivers. But please monitor Beasley. And if he's not playing, Gabriel Davis is a decent flex play. He got a decent amount of yards last week with my boy Beasley out, man. Kind of decent play. He had like 2 20 burst out games in the last. He's not playing.
He was just talking this shit too. Javar's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, man. Shout out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Wi-Fi is not the best.
Look at it.
He's stuck on the screen right now. We just gonna go ahead.
That's him looking at the router like, what the hell wrong with the damn router, bro?
I mean, what game was he talking about?
The fucking Indianapolis and Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll let him come back to that game if he get his Tuscaloosa internet right. For now, man, we're gonna go ahead and get on to the next game.
Look, still doing it. Oh no, you can't see it. Okay, I believe it. All right, go ahead.
We're gonna get on to the next game. We got the 3-point favorited Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Huh?
I'm back.
That boy was
Sound good?
Roll too. He was spitting.
Yeah, I don't know what he was saying.
All right. So I was just saying, it sucks that Beasley is going through this injury. He was playing well lately, so you can kind of count on Gabriel Davis. You can count him as a fringe flex play. As for Sanders, he's a good flex play. He hasn't won you any games, but he definitely haven't hurt you. So you can count on Sanders in the flex play every week. Dawson Knox has seen 5 or more targets in only 2 of 7 games, and he went over 50 yards only once this year. He is TD dependent each week, making him boom or bust. The Colts are allowing the second most points to tight ends, making Knox a decent start this week. And that's to the other side. We got my boy Carson Wentz, who is quarterback 13 on the year, and that's crazy. If you told me Wentz would be about that. You're right. You told me once been quarterback 13 on the year. That's wild. He has scored at least 2 touchdowns in 7 out of his 10 games, averaging around 33 passes attempts per game. I didn't see him throwing over 30 times a game. But this week he had his toughest matchup to date, playing the Bills, who are allowing the 12 points, 2 quarterbacks per game. With buys and a couple injuries, he's still worth the starting quarterback 2 leagues, but in quarterbacks 1 league, you can probably pivot somewhere else. On to Jonathan Taylor. He is going crazy, man. You feel me? In the last 7 games, he is averaging 143 all-purpose yards and a total of 10 touchdowns in that span. You start this stud every week, even lining up against the Bills, who are allowing the second fewest points to running backs. I don't really think you can trust Nyheim Hines at this point. He's boom or bust, and we don't know when he's going to get his touches. Taylor is getting a decent amount of receptions per game, so we can't call it Nyheim Hines breakout game anymore.
Why do you keep saying Nahi?
It sounds like I'm saying Nyheim, but I just be saying it quick, Nyheim. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying. Nyheim, know what I'm saying?
Bro, that is hilarious, bro. That must have
bro, I got a little trick. In high school, when I used to forget people's name, I just remember like the first syllables. I'm like, hey, Ty, just say the first couple syllables real quick.
I just say,
they'll hear that part and they'll turn around and be like, what's up? I'm telling you, boy, it work every time.
Oh my
God, because I was horrible with names.
Michael Pittman. This is going to be a rough game for Michael Pittman and the rest of the wide receivers. The Bills are giving up the first few points to wide receivers, and Pittman may see a lot of Tre'Davious White over the weekend. If you take away Pittman, monster 15 target game against the Titans, he has averaged around 5 targets for 73 yards in the last 5 of his 6 games. He is worth a flex play as he has scored 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games. I don't trust any wide receiver. Hilton is a desperate flex play. He has seen at least 4 targets when playing. And that's about it on that game, if y'all got something.
Nope. I do like Michael Pittman. Always Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I'm going to start Michael Pittman. He definitely will have a tough matchup this week.
I just brought it down to like a flex play.
Yeah, just adjust your expectation. And there are 7-point underdogs. The Colts are. That might be a good betting opportunity, man. I just feel like it's just a way, but I just
their defense is pretty. Are you saying the other way? Which way are you saying?
Well, no, I just don't think they'll lose by more than 7. I think they'll play them pretty tough.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the
team,
point.
You know what I'm saying?
I take the points. I don't think they lose. I think their defense will keep them in the game.
Yeah, but if they do fall behind early in the game or just throughout the game, they're trailing by a lot, then Nyheim Hines could give you some flex value because I feel like in the last few weeks he hasn't been seeing much work because they've been cruising in these games pretty much. So. Or it's been a close game, so he doesn't really get work when it's a close game. So if you think they're gonna get blown out, then Nyheim Hines could give you some flex value.
And it's in Buffalo. It's expected to be a windy day. Ooh, cold. On to the last game of the episode.
Yep.
3-point favorite at Miami at the Jets, who would have got an over under 45 points. We got Miami starts for me, Tua Tagovailoa.
Just say Tua, bro.
Tua Tagovailoa. I like the way this shit sounds.
I thought it was a tang. My bad.
Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. Now you gonna make me say it too many times. Now it don't sound right. Came in the last week in relief after halftime. Shout out to all the Jacoby Brissett starters last week. That was the lamest shit ever, bro. Literally
must have started Brissett.
Yes, literally was the reason I lost the game because he took him out in the fucking halftime, bro. He was ready to play.
He was ready to go back in, bro.
Yes, he put his helmet back on, and Buddy tapped him and said no.
Coach
he wasn't hurt.
Not so fast.
Not so fast, my friend.
Bro.
I got a hurt thumb. They could throw better.
He did both of them dirty because Tua was
I got a question.
To start the game, bro.
Exactly, bro. Just start him.
To get Brissett, like you picked him up off waivers.
Yeah.
Over who? Trevor Siemian went out there? Like Brissett had to be the only person.
I don't think he was starting by the time. I don't think Siemian was starting yet by the time he picked up Brissett.
No, it was last game.
Yeah, it was last game.
No, I've been had Brissett on my team.
Okay.
I want to say you picked Brissett up right when we were playing.
When Tua got hurt
against me, that was last week.
Right when Tua got hurt, I picked up Jacoby Brissett. He just always been on my team.
Yeah, Siemian was already picked up.
Mm-hmm. This week, he is expected to be the starter going up against the Jets since week 5. The Jets have given up the most fantasy points to pretty much every position there is on the field, allowing 325 yards per game and 2.4 touchdowns to the quarterback. I love Tua this week. I also love Jalen Waddle. He's an every week starter now. You shouldn't have to question him when you put him in your lineup since week 5. He is tied second with Cooper Kupp in targets in the NFL. He also has a great matchup against Michael Carter, the cornerback. Mike Giuseki, he put up a donut last week. That was probably one of the grossest things ever. TJ Hawkinson also put up a donut. That was also pretty gross for both of those guys. But he did get 7 targets. He just didn't catch them. And in that tight end landscape, there's really not many people you can actually just start over Mike Giuseki. Second in targets for tight ends since week 5, only behind Travis Kelce, but he's only scored 1 touchdown in that span. The Jets are allowing the 4th most fantasy points to the tight end position over the last 5 weeks, so I do like him in a bounce back week. We got some fringe players. I got Myles Gaskins, easily one of the biggest fantasy disappointments out there. I think that goes without saying. Only had double-digit fantasy games in 4 out of the last 10 games this season. Since that week 5 Big 10 target game, the 2 touchdown game.
He's still running back too, though.
He's gross. He's averaged a healthy 16 touches per game, only 47 yards, and had 2 touchdowns in that span since week 5. With that volume, you do expect him to have a good running back floor, but he looks gross. Luckily, the Jets are allowing running backs to pretty much do whatever they want to them. So I do expect him to have a good game this week. Hopefully, if he doesn't do it this week, then it's gross. That's pretty much it.
Just to follow up on Gaskin, bro, he has 64 yards on 32 carries the last 2 weeks, bro, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But as homie Q said, he's really toxic this year because he's been off and on in his production. Like he'll have a double-digit point game, then a single-digit point game, double-digit, single-digit. So last week he had the single digit. So with the matchup and the trend that's been happening this year, then he is due for a big game. So I like him this week.
Yeah, I mean, and especially in the running back landscape out there, like how it is, I mean, it's not much you can. Shout out to
his problem is though, bro, because last year it might be the offensive line too, because the offensive line I believe got worse since last year. But he looked way better last year. Like he actually looked like a good running back. He looked
like a running back, yeah. But at times though, but I don't think it could be all the offensive line because at times we've seen other running backs look better than Myles Gaskins. It wasn't like we've seen Malcolm. We've seen Malcolm Brown look good at points, and we've seen Solomon, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Ahmed look good. I don't know about Brown.
Okay, Ahmed for sure.
Yeah,
definitely look good, better at some points. But hopefully for my Scott Fishbowl team, they don't take him out. New York Jets, we got some starts. Michael Carter, of course, played against the Buffalo Bills, and we didn't expect much, but he did find the end zone. and he did see 6 targets caught for 43 yards. Since week 7, he leads all running backs in targets with 29 and receiving yards with 242. That's in the NFL. The Dolphins since week 5 have given up the fewest fantasy points to the running back position, but that's most likely due to the passing defense just being terrible, more than the running defense being dominant. Carter does have a solid running back floor, especially since he's getting the bulk of the carries. So I do like him as an every week starter. Sits, we got pretty much, I don't know, man. I was looking at the Jets game, and normally it's gross. So, of course, the big news, I forgot to mention this, Joe Flacco is officially the starter. So this could just be me trying to find like a hope in a way, but I got a lot of fringe players for the Jets. So I'll go through them. Let me see how y'all feel. Joe Flacco. I got him in Superflex leagues. I got him as a fringe player. He's officially been named a starter. Came in, did 3 for 3, 47 yards and a touchdown. The Dolphins are allowing on average the third most fantasy points points a game since week 5, over 300 yards per game and at least 1 touchdown during that span. So I do like him in flexible and super flex lineups. I went out and put a bid on him, so I got $0. So fuck y'all if I put a bid on him. Todd Johnson remains fantasy relevant even with the lack of rushes. He's still seeing targets with 8 targets last week against the Bills. He's actually 8th in the league among running backs, 4 targets since week 6. So that's a pretty good stretch, and that's a pretty good consistency in targets that you like to see from running backs, especially in the landscape. So I like him. He's a flexible play. I wouldn't force him in your lineup, but he does have a safe floor as long as he's seeing those targets in PPR leagues. Elijah Moore, he's on that mini breakout, like Devonta Smith, now seeing 26 targets since their bye week in week 6, catching 17 of them for 208 yards and 3 touchdowns, including one from Joe Flacco last week. They're using Moore all over the field. 21% of his routes he's being targeted on. The Dolphins are allowing the most fantasy points to the wide receiver position over the last 5 games. So I think we could see Moore's outbreak continuing. I do think Joe Flacco is probably going to be the best quarterback that they've had in that backfield, even though Joe Flacco sucks. I still think he's probably going to be better than Mike White and Zach Wilson. Corey Davis, I think you could start him also. After missing 2 weeks, he came right back in, 7 targets, caught 5 of them for 93 yards, just didn't get into the end zone. He will have a hard matchup against Xavier Howard, but he also had a hard matchup last week against the Bills, and he came out and did good. So he still had 93 yards. So I like him as this week. Jameson Crowder, also I like him this week, predominantly plays in the flex. Crowder, when he's been healthy this year, he has been a part of the offensive game plan in every game. He hasn't seen less than 6 targets this whole year. Coleman, who handles most of the slot assignments for the Dolphins, is giving up 73% catch rate, and he's graded a 54 by PFF. He's probably the weakest of the cornerbacks. Of course, they got Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. So I do think Crowder also provides you a safe floor with 6 targets. How y'all feel about that?
Only thing I will I'm worried about with Carter is he got a lot of them targets. Most of those targets came when Mike White was the starter. He was like the check down king. Him and Ty Johnson too. So it will be interesting to see how Joe Flacco, every quarterback has different tendencies who they like to target, man. Mike White, it was the running back. So I definitely think you should still start him, but I wouldn't be expecting a heavy target volume like he's been seeing. Like he was getting like over 30% target share in every Mike White game. So I'm not expecting that, but something to watch for going forward.
I'll be more worried about Todd Johnson because last time I think when Flacco was starting, he was still targeting running backs a good bit, and then when he checked down, Flacco does. So, but I still be worried about Todd Johnson though. I don't think he's gonna do it as much as Mike White.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, but they both getting the share of the backfield. Since week 6, Michael Carter is snap percentages have went down to more of a 50-50 share between him and Todd Johnson. So
yeah, and
it was like
and
2
Coleman
games
got back last week, and he got on the
too.
field. So that's gonna muddy things up as well.
Yeah, so it's not like I think it was like 2 games in a row where he dominated with like 70% of the snaps. The last 2 games has been under 60%. So they are splitting the backfield back there. So that is, I do think that makes Todd Johnson a little safe, especially he had 8 targets. So I think even at the worst, he probably gets like 5. You know what I mean? So I think he's safe. Yeah. And it's not a lot of motherfuckers that you can start this week. It's crazy out there.
Yeah, bro. It's always like this when we get to week 11, bro. Motherfuckers be all hobbled and shit.
Only the strong survive, baby.
Yup.
If that's it, I don't got nothing else. If y'all don't got nothing else,
that'll do it.
Appreciate everybody for listening, man. That was part 1. Part 2 on Friday. You know we're gonna be at. Pull up to our live session as it starts and sits. Other than that, man, check me out on TikTok. I'm trying to get TikTok famous. Let me find an outro. We out.
Peace.
Yeah.